Hey everyone, I have a confession. 2 years ago when I built this computer, I told myself that I was going to cable manage it next month, and I never did. Look at it, it's horrendous. It's just a mess. I haven't bothered with cable management at all, and whilst it doesn't really affect the performance, or at least for what I use it for, I still want to improve it because it doesn't look very good. So I'm going to use 3 key things in this video to actually improve all of this. Firstly, I'm going to use an extension cable to fix this CPU cable, which just isn't long enough to route back around the case. I'm then going to use a Corsair individually sleeved cables, or 2 of them in fact, to fix this pigtail mess with my graphics card. And thirdly, I'm clearly going to use this PVC trunking. I'll explain why I'm going to use this and these other things throughout this video, but let's just dive in. Unless this goes into my power supply unit. That's probably not a good thing to do, is it? Let's have a look. Anyway, let's remove some of these other cables. These horrible PCI Express connectors, which just take up tons of space. The reason I've run 2 of these cables is I've done another video for it, but basically due to the TDP on my graphics card, I'm cutting it fine if I just use a single cable. I'll put a link to the other video up there somewhere. But basically I can just get rid of these and replace them with these sleeved cables. It's going to look a lot nicer. So let's just get rid of that. Put them over there. So that. Let's put that out of the way. Okay, so that's one thing I can get rid of. Secondly, I don't need this SATA drive anymore. And actually, you know, there's loads of cables coming from there. So if I unplug that, and I unplug that. Oh, yes, there we are. Coming out. Brilliant. Where's that going to now? Just in there. So if I do this. There we are, done. That's going to help a lot with actually simplifying the wires once I get this one out. And I can also hide this cable, and then this will hopefully look a bit better, to be honest. Because yeah, that's a pretty monstrous connection at the moment, isn't it? Okay, so let's spin this round a second and let's see what I can do with some of these cables. I warn you in advance, this section is not pretty either, but you know, the whole point is it should be a bit ugly on the back, shouldn't it? Okay. So I've got this cable here. Oh no, am I using that? What am I using that for? Oh, don't tell me I'm using it. I want to get rid of this cable completely. What am I using it for? Oh, what's that now? I think I'm using it for USBs, this USB adapter. Let's have a look. Bugger, yes I am. Well, that's a bit annoying, isn't it? Yeah, so on the front, I've got this panel, because basically my particular motherboard doesn't actually have enough USB connectors for this old case. So what I've actually got is another adapter that I bought here, but that needs a SATA power. So I do still need this bloody cable. That's quite annoying. Okay, so I'm going to have to cable manage that. But for now, I'm just going to leave this lying around the back here and come back to that later. So what have I got here? So I've mainly got some SATA cables. I've also got an old fan controller where I've just set the speed to all the intake fans and outtake fans to be quiet, apart from my CPU fan, which goes through the motherboard, and that, you know, is managed properly. So I'll probably leave that as it is for now, and that's actually decently cable managed. But is there anything I can... No, there's nothing there, right, so... Come back to this for now. Really want to be putting this into this PSU directly, do I? What would happen if I did do that? Let's have a look. So that's that. So let's just take that out. Let's see what's happening, because if I do need to run that wire all the way along, it's not too bad, but I just don't know if I'm able to do that. So that would have to go there. That could plug into... Let me just check. Can that plug in to my power supply unit? Because if so, I can at least go from there. It's going to be upside down. Have I bought the right connector? That's the question, isn't it? Should have planned ahead. Really should have planned ahead. I did buy it, to be fair, so I have planned ahead a little bit. But let's have a look. Let's plug that in. Let's see if that... Doesn't feel like it's fitting. That's not good, is it? Why would that be though? Nope. Ah, God. Is there any way I can actually get this running all the way along? Ah, God. Need to put this through that hole if so. I should have checked this, shouldn't I, instead of just running it all along my computer. Let's have a look. I didn't think this would actually go through okay, but let's try and do that as tightly as I can. It fits. I've done that, it actually fits. Yeah, so all that time when I was running it like that in a horrible way and mounting it to the actual fan thing so it didn't clip into the fans and bind an extension cable, I didn't actually need it. I could have just run it like that, which isn't ideal. It doesn't look the best, but it's gonna look a hell of a lot better than actually running along here, isn't it? I can't believe it. That's a fail, isn't it? Oh well. It might be I can also pull them more tight here as well, but I'm not going to do that yet. I could do that at the end though, maybe. Okay, so that means I can now plug that power supply cable back in. After threading it around here and making sure that it doesn't plug up the other cables. So that's going to be that there. Okay, that's no longer catching on any of the cables. I'm going to pull that as tight as I can. As I mentioned, well, as I did before, but I'm going to have to do it again, is I'm now going to put this back here. Yeah. Right, so let's get this cable back. I'll show you the end result in a minute, but firstly I just want to make sure that's as tight as possible so it doesn't clip on anything. Yeah, so that should be fine. So I'm going to thread that down as much as I can and pull that. That just needs to be cut. The CPU one can now just plug in here with no issues. Okay, should have done all along. But anyway, that looks a lot neater and now it's not actually clashing with these cables, because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to pull them. So that's good that I've done that. Next on my list is going to be this particular cable, which, you know, I've just very lazily just never bothered to cable manage. So I'm going to pull that out here so I can route it around a bit. So I'm unclipping that, as you can see. Okay. So it needs to just come out of here. Now this needs to be individually sleeved. I probably should have done that because, yeah, this would be a lot better if it was individually sleeved. But at least I can get most of the cables out of the way and hide them, and then it doesn't look too bad. And now I just need to pop them out so I can pop them back into my motherboard, which means coming through here. I'm going to make sure I put it in the right direction. Which means coming in this direction, looking at it. So I'm going to come around there. And I'm bending these cables. These are okay to bend as much as I can. Well, not as much as I can, but you know, you can bend them quite a lot. These cables aren't going to magically break. They're not very fragile. Right, so I'm going to have to poke. There we go. Move that back. Here we are. So I am going to pull these back a bit, but first I'm just going to bend that as much as I can. It's literally doing a 180. And that allows me to plug that in here. Yeah, there we are. It is in. It is in. I think. No jokes, please. Yes, that is definitely in. Okay. That's what she said. Never mind. Okay, so that's there. That's there. These cables are quite tight, but there is still a lot of give in them, so that should be okay. Obviously that does mean I've got more work to do in terms of hiding everything when I put the cover back on here, but that should be okay because I can probably just run the cable up here. And I no longer have the SATA drive actually taking up space, so I've got a bit more give in that area now. I've got to do something with this bloody cable, which I didn't really want, but that's okay. I can hide nearly all of this in the back and then just pop out this into the PSU, so that's not too bad. Annoyingly though, the peripheral, the SATA connectors are here, so it's a bit annoying. It'd be nice if it was over here and I could just hide everything at the back, but I can't. But anyway, let's just, yeah, there's no good way really of hiding this, so I'm just going to have to connect it, and then, joking aside, that's where this trunking is going to come in, so I will cover that soon. But let's just plug that in. I'm going to do it into there. Done. So there's no easy way I can hide that right now. Okay, so I'm ready. It's looking a lot better. I was just lazy to begin with. There are still some things I should be doing to improve things, like some of these black cables aren't really ideal, but for now, let's just leave it as is. The next thing then is going to be improving the graphics card connections. I'm actually thinking how to actually hide these best, because let's connect them and see. So this goes into my power supply unit anyway. So I'm going to put them there and make sure I can connect them up. Yeah, I mean, really, they can plug in, which is fine. They can plug in there. I think I'm then just going to have to dump all of the cables as much as I can into the back compartment here. But I'll just plug them in normally now, and then I can plan, I think. So I'll connect this right-hand one, and as a result, I'm just not going to use this 2-pin, because I can just use that. It's a bit annoying though, that's there, but that's okay. Oh, actually, yeah, that's a bit annoying. It does mean that this pin I'm not using is just going to be lying around and actually crashing in a little bit to the one on the left, but that's not the end of the world. Can I make it look a bit nicer though? So I'll look. Probably. Yeah, to be honest, you don't really notice this plug that's unused. Well, with the old cables, you really do. But with this one, I'm using the 8-pin, so I'm going to connect that together. Make sure it's in, and not connect it because that's come undone. Noob. Right, do that. Push it together, and yeah, we're in. So that's all in. Yes, that's all in. Okay, so I've got that unused cable, but actually I've got that unused end, but what I'm going to do is just try and pull that as much as I can. There we are. I'm actually going to push it in, and it makes it look like I'm using it, even though I'm not. I don't know if you can see that, but basically I've pushed it in as much as I can, and it looks like I'm using that, even though I'm not. So that's actually quite a nice effect. And you've got all these cables, which I'm now just going to have to hide. So let me just dump them here a little bit. Dump them there a little bit. I'll pull them later, but I've also got this one to connect as well. So let's do that. Right, done. Okay. Now I just want to get these cables out of the way as much as I can. Which means I am going to end up with quite a lot of cables in the back here, but that's not the end of the world. Especially these are quite nice. They don't feel as bulky because they're individually sleeved. They do look really nice, to be fair. So that's one bundle. What I'm going to do is just cable tie that, because otherwise I'm going to get confused with what's what. Just going to quickly cable tie that. And then I can do the same with the other set of cables. Okay, same again. Obviously the colour of the cable ties shouldn't really matter in the back, but because they're white cables, I'm just going to use white. Which is good. Okay, so that's all done. So if we spin this all around now, this is our effect. So the CPU cable looks better, the motherboard one is hidden, and these are how the graphics, graphics card cables go as well, which look quite nice. You can get more cable combs, and I might do that in the future. And when I say that, I will actually do it this time. You could get them to actually, connect them more, so you don't end up with this mesh of cables here. But immediately, things are a lot better than they were before, so already I'm quite happy. So immediately, this looks a lot better. But as I mentioned, we've still got this massive mesh of cables, and I don't have any PSU shroud or anything in this case. It's actually quite a small case. That's one of the reasons I like it and still use it to this day. But yeah, really, I want to hide some of these cables, and that's where I was thinking this might come in handy. I don't know how well this is actually going to work, but I'm thinking if I just cut a length of this and maybe stick it somewhere, either to the floor here or to the side, or I just leave it dangling, but at least it can hide some of these cables and might not make it look as bad. I don't know even if they'll all fit in there. It should do, because it's quite a wide diameter one. But I'm just going to cut this to length and then go from there. Let's see if this will actually work. I don't know if it will actually work, but my idea is I'm going to put all my cables in here and hide them. I don't know if it'll work. I might even need to cut more of this, but we're just going to have a look. Is this going to work? Is it going to work? Come here, cables. Cables. Mr. Cables. No, let's do them there. Yes, let's start them all there. And then I can bring them all into there. There we are. Hang on, this is definitely maybe going to work, isn't it? No, that's not going to work because... No, that's not going to work because I've cut it too long. So, sandpaper, sandpaper, sandpaper. Oh, this is going so well. This is going so well. But I think the end result will be good. I'm a visionary. I can see that this will work. I'm projecting positive thoughts. This will work. Okay. There we are. Any junkiness cleaned out with my rubbery hands. Leathery hands gone. Right, okay. Okay, so I look. This is not easy. You know, they say all the best solutions aren't easy, or something like that. Oh, God. If anything, this is now a bit too long because I haven't got the slack anymore in that bit. Oh, yes, yes, I do. Yes, it's coming together. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Look at that. Right, so this really janky looking solution. Oh, that looks awful. Oh, it doesn't. I quite like that, actually. I don't know, what do you think? Let me know. I'd prefer if I twisted it this way, but I don't think I'll be able to. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to twist it. But I think it doesn't look too bad as long as I do that. Yeah, I think that looks decent. What I can now do is move all of these cables under and hide some of them as well. Let's have a look. So again, I probably need a similar length bit of trunking, so longer than that. Yeah, probably need it about that length. So let's cut this again. Okay, I got plastic bits all over my feet. So I'm going to hide some of these cables in trunking, and then the rest I can just hide outwardly. But what I'm going to do is, if I pop this looking upright, then my amazing cable solution, yeah, because what I can probably do is hide a lot of these cables now behind the back of the trunking, I think, if I play my cards right. Yeah, because I can probably do something like that. And if I've got enough slack, I can pull this up and have something like that. And that kind of hides all the rest of the PCI Express cables as well. It's not a perfect solution, but actually it looks better than nothing. Yes, it's janky as hell, but it's better than nothing. I think I need more shrouds, don't I? No, I'm joking, I don't. But there we are. Anyway, if I put that there, Put that there. Put that there. Then what I'm ending up with is something that actually looks decent inside. It's not the best, but it looks a hell of a lot better than it was. This would benefit though from clear plastic cable combs. I will look to order one of those because I could at least clip that and then hide even more of this. But for now, I think this looks pretty good. It looks a lot better than it was before, so I'm quite happy with this. So the last thing I need to do is get the back cover on. Please, 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 please. That'll do. Yeah, I think that looks decent. I think that looks decent indeed. Right, so. It's good enough for me. 80% done is better done than nothing done. That's what I always say. Okay, so that looks decent. I could chuck that in there if I really wanted to push up the height of things. Does that look too terrible and janky? Yes, but who cares? It's my build. Yes, I need clear cable combs there, but I think I might actually leave that there. Because otherwise this drops down too much and reveals some of those cables. So at least this is actually hiding some more cables as well. This is a pure work of art. I'm very happy with this. Not really. But I think that's good enough. So what I'm going to do now is take this back upstairs and hope that it boots up. It should do. All these connections feel okay. The motherboard one is very tight, 180, but it should be okay as well. Yeah, so let's see if it boots up upstairs. So there we have it. I think this looks a lot better, but I haven't actually even tried turning this on yet. So let's just turn it on and see what happens. So that's good. That's good. Everything is spinning, so that's a good sign. Do I get output on here? Yes, yes I do. That's great. I haven't connected a keyboard or a mouse yet though. So let me just do that. Quick, 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 quick. I don't know why I'm saying quick. It doesn't actually matter, does it? Yes, that's working. That is working. And I just check Task Manager, make sure it sees everything it should see, but fingers crossed, it all starts up. Nothing should look awry. It's not turning off. Yep, my CPU is fine, RAM is fine, GPU is fine. It's detecting my 2 drives, which are NVMe drives under the graphics card. So I think that's it. It's very janky, obviously. It's a very, very janky solution, but as you can see, it works and it looks a lot better. Obviously, for some reason, I never actually, the CPU cable, I'm actually a little bit annoyed about because I always had it running all along there because for some reason I thought I didn't have enough give on it, enough length on it, but I actually did. But the main things that have helped, obviously, this particular build are cable routing the CPU and the motherboard, and then these new cables are really nice for the PCI Express ones. Otherwise, this wouldn't have looked half as nice because I would have had horrible pigtail connectors here. And the problem with the pigtail connectors is they're only a few inches long, so I haven't actually got the length to hide them behind the motherboard tray or the case tray. And then I know I joked a little bit about these PVC trunking, but actually I think it looks decent enough in the sense that when the case is on, you don't end up seeing much of that. What you do end up seeing is, yeah, just quite a clean case with a couple of cables, but not much else. And as a result, I'm fairly happy with this. But let me know your thoughts. Obviously, I'm sure I've done some things wrong, or I could have done things better. And certainly there are some black cables for the USBs and stuff on the front, which I could have hidden better. But because it's a black case and everything else, I don't think you can see them too much. But yeah, let me know your thoughts and comments down in the description. Please go gently on me, or not, as the case may be. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up button, because I know I said it before, but the YouTube algorithm, while it's fairly smart, it does also boil down to the more likes people get, the more that video gets recommended to people. So if you did like it, please do click the thumbs up button. Please also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and thank you for watching.